Hey y'all, so we are back to talk about episode 4 of Welcome to Derry. This episode, I would say the main things to take away are I don't want to say the main things, but Charlotte is a no nonsense woman. And Charlotte handling Will's mama. And to see I guess not the parallel, but just the how she kind of is a counter to Leroy. Cause it's like Leroy. Granted, I've seen episode 6, but I feel like Leroy wants to be like the good Negro. Like he wants to. I want to defend my country. I want to do all of these things. And the way not Margaret, but Charlotte always is like your country. You want to defend your country. Okay, okay, girl. But we start off episode 4. That's not the main points, but I would say the main point is that we find out the history, like the true history of Derry and where this entity comes from. And it was real interesting. The episode starts off okay, when we left episode 3, the kids were going through the cemetery and they had got these pictures, they done developed them, and they see everything that's in there. So they take it down to the police station, and of course the police station's like, we don't see nothing. This is just pigeon shit. And then they like, well, do you see this? It's a clown in the back. And they're like, I don't see it. And Lily's like, how can you not see it? And he like, calm down before your ass gets sent back to Juniper Hill. Like pretty much he threatened her like, girl, I'll put you back in the crazy house. Don't play with me. And he did that in front of all the other kids. And it was just like, dang. Like, why do I feel like this whole town don't like this little girl? It's just like, it's like everybody is taking shots at this little girl. Like, your crazy ass. Like, everybody act like they got a problem with Lily almost. And the kids are like, I think they like, well, dang. We didn't know she was gonna get done like that. But as we go through the episode, we see Charlotte. Rose comes over, and remember, Rose is the Native American lady that knows Francis from back when they were kids. Rose comes over. I feel like she was trying to fish out some information about Leroy because she knows Leroy works on the base with Francis. And it apparently gives that Leroy is considered to be somebody of great regard. So I feel as if she thinks anybody who might know something, she could kind of fish it out of Charlotte. And Charlotte, like, girl, he don't tell me nothing. He takes so much pride in keeping everything classified. He don't tell me nothing. And but Charlotte is like, should I be worried about these kids going missing? Because Charlotte, she's got a young child, Will. And Rose is like, just keep the ones that you love close to you. And I'm like, girl, that can mean anything. And you need that in any situation. But the soldiers get a new hangout, just as hollering, I ain't gonna say that's what he was promised. Well, not what he promised them, but it was like, hey, since you got special privileges, can you get us this new hangout? And so he did. It's I guess you could say it's one of those fix uppers. Because one of the soldiers was like, but we gotta clean this shit up. Like we got something far away, and so we don't have to be bothered, but we still have to do the work of cleaning it up. So of course, a few of the soldiers were like, but a lot of them were looking forward to it. So during that time, we see Leroy. He approaches. Well, I'm jumping ahead. Let me follow my notes. So we go to the school. We see we're back at school. Lily's in the classroom, and we see one of the patty cakes. I can't remember this little girl's name, but is it just patty cake or patty whatever it is? She is like encouraging Marge to like talk to Lily because Marge is sitting behind Lily, and it's on some bullshit. So Marge is like, "Hey, Lily, I know we haven't been hanging out. I really miss you. Let's have lunch." And so Lily, because I think Marge really is her only friend, besides the friendships that she has gotten with the kids, Rich, Ronnie, and Will, but she's friends with them because of what's happening. Versus, I believe Marge was her friend before everything happened. So of course she's like, okay, I'll hang out with you. So they're eating lunch, and you see Ronnie, Rich, and Will are sitting at a table together, and they kind of looking at Marge and Lily like, what's she doing over there? And one of these popular boys comes by and says something to Lily, and Marge is like, oh, that's so this, that's so that. And she kind of gasses her up to like really be feeling some type of way about it. And she's like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and freshen up. Patty Cake bring her ass over there, and she's like, hey Marge, you need to follow her and make sure that she, actually comes back. Because it's alluded, pretty much told to us, the audience, that Marge is setting Lily up to be embarrassed by one of these popular kids, these popular boys, thinking that he likes her in front of everybody in the cafeteria. And it's like, Marge, why are you acting like, I mean, granted, this is the different time and everything, but it's like, damn, like, you really coming at Lily like she was not your friend. Like, and we could tell that Ronnie them are looking at her like they know this, they know her ass up to something. So Will goes home the scene where I'm moving to is that we see Will go home because back to when the episode started, those pictures that were in there, they were like, the kids were like, no, we actually had good pictures of these apparitions and stuff. This cannot be what we took pictures of. Like, no, we actually had real pictures. So we get to Will's house, and because Will's the one who developed the pictures, he going through his drawer trying to figure out what's going on, and that's when Charlotte comes in, and then we know that Charlotte took those pictures out. So even though I feel like Charlotte is more spiritual than we're seeing right now, and I think we can just see that and how she shows up in her activism. Like, she really acts on her intuition. So she's just kind of like, "Were you looking for these?" And Will tells his mama. And the thing that I do like about Charlotte is that she don't necessarily tell Will that, okay, boy, you sound crazy. She's just kind of like, okay, so you won't be going out at night no more. And he like, but I need to help my friends, and you can help them in the daytime at school. Period. Point blank. Like, that's what Charlotte was given. And so, wait a minute. So, of course, they have this talk, and she was like, I'll just keep it between me and you. So we see them at the dinner table, and Charlotte tells Leroy he needs to be spending more time with Will, possibly, do something with him on the weekends. So we move to Leroy taking Will fishing, and we can tell that Will and Leroy, they're at that crux of the father-son relationship where the father wants the son to like be like him in a way, but his son is not like him. And I don't think he's bothered by it, but I think he's just trying to figure out another way to connect with his son, because I feel as if the way that Leroy probably learned how to connect with his father was through similar action, like similar activities. Like, well, if I like sports, then I'm gonna make sure my son likes sports, and that's what will be, I guess you could say, vibing or having your relationship based off of. But that's obviously not the thing with Will. Will is very much so science interested and kind of like a little futuristic a little bit, whereas Leroy is very practical and being of service and being a man's man. But this is the 60s, and that's what was decimated to the masses on what being a man is, and also what were really your livelihood options, especially for black men at that time. So yes, it was heavy, laborious manufacturing type of work, whether you're in the army, whether you're down there working at a mill. So, but Will is like, so Leroy has to go back to the car to get some more bait, because Will, had almost caught a fish. So Will sees the little fish coming up, he looks down in the water, and something pulls him into the water, and he sees that it's a like the image of Leroy, his daddy, and he's all burnt and charred up, and he's like, you will burn too. And so he's screaming for his daddy. Leroy hears him, and he's like, daddy, it pulled me in the water, it pulled me in the water. And we see that Will has like literally scratches on his arms, like someone was pulling him, like he's bleeding. And we see this long red balloon. And so that's indicative that whatever the force is, Pennywise, you could say, its spirit was present. So when Leroy approaches Dick hollering, he goes to their hideout, and he like, I need to know what's going on, because this thing, it has attacked my son. Like, what is it? What is this thing that we're looking for? And Dick was like, I don't know. That's pretty much above my pay grade. I don't know when we going back up into the sky and everything. And Leroy like, no, give me an answer. What is it? And Dick like, back up. I don't know. Charlotte, being the activist that she is, she takes her ass down to the police department, because Hank's case of being a suspect of killing these kids, or the reason why they're gone, is all over the news and the TV, I'm assuming. So she goes down to the police department, and she's trying to figure out how to speak to Hank, and he's like, no, you can't speak to him and stuff. She does her due diligence and finds out that Hank did not get a bail hearing. So he shouldn't even be in prison anyway, because he didn't, or jail, he didn't get a bail hearing, and she can prove that he was, like discrimination and stuff, and she's going to file the paperwork. But when she had went to, I guess one of the deputies that was up there at the front desk, and she was like, I need to speak to the sheriff or whoever is in charge. And he was like, oh, I don't know. And she's like, well, when they going to be back? Oh, I don't know. And she pretty much told him, hey, bro, you don't want my ass to get on the phone, because I know a lot of MLKs, JFKs, and I will call them up. You do not want me to be on your ass. And that's when they was able to, and that's when they finally let her go back there and speak to Hank. Child, we find out that Hank actually was not at home when them kids went missing. Was he at the theater? No, but he was laid up with a woman. And not only any woman, a white woman who was also a married woman. At this time period, that's just about as much, even more of a death sentence than them thinking he did something to them kids. And it's like, Hank, my boy, you really stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, really, you really stuck between a rock and a hard place. I keep looking at the screen and then at the camera. So, sorry about that. I guess it's just going to move. Yeah, but it was kind of like, Hank, you not doing good. So we get to the hideout. The kids have figured out, well, Will really has figured out that he believes that this thing feeds off fear and whatever that they are scared of. And that's what he tells them. And so Lily has come up with the idea that they go down there, will figure out approaching the thing, but she gonna get her mama's anxiety pills. She gonna get her mama's anxiety pills so they can take them, so they can go down there. And I said, Lord, the children gonna start popping pills. Now, we are at school. We back at the school scene with Lily and Marge. Lily's in the bathroom, pretty much going on about trying to be cute for this boy, and she's about to take one of her anxiety pills to calm her down. Marge is starting to feel bad because she realizing, yeah, girl, you about to do your real bitch dirty. Like your real homegirl, you about to do her dirty for these little hoes. I'm sorry, these little girls that you just want to fit in with. And she starts crying. She's like, Marge, Lily, I need to tell you something. And she starts to get this pain in her eye. And to the point where her eye sockets start to protrude out. I mean, her eyes start to protrude out of her eye sockets, and she's screaming in agony. And we see her trying to like literally like cut her eyeballs out. She goes to one, and of course Lily is chasing after her. She's like, Marge, what's going on? What's going on? And so Marge literally tries to saw off her eyeballs with some type of some apparatus they got in the classroom. And then she tries to take a screwdriver and keep, like, it's like gouge her eyes out. Lily knows that she's being like attacked by the thing, and she's like, no, Marge, don't do it, don't do it. And so she gets Marge on the floor, but mind you, Marge is bleeding now. She's trying to take the screwdriver away from her, and she's screaming, no, Marge. Then all the kids run into the room and see her. And what does it look like? Lily is on top of Marge, damn near stabbing this girl, and her eyes are bleeding. Lily can't catch a break. Lily cannot catch a break. So Leroy ends up confronting Charlotte about going down to the police station because Polly saw her down there. And she tells him about why she went down there. And so it's later on in the evening, Will is looking through his telescope, looking through the neighborhood, and he sees what? Pennywise. He screams. So, of course, Leroy and Charlotte get up, and Leroy goes outside, and he's like, who is it? Who is it? You can tell him outside is like getting people to turn their lights on. And he doesn't see anybody, but when he's on his way back into the house, he sees this one red balloon in the tree, the same as when he saw that one red balloon when Will was attacked on the river. So he knows that it means something. So we get back. He's thinking that this stuff is happening because of Charlotte, but it's really happening because of one thing that gets on my nerves about Leroy is like he is so, it's so easy. He's just throwing everything on Charlotte. Oh, this is happening because of you. This is happening because of you. So we find out the history of this thing, and it's called the Galloo. It was this thing that came out the sky and hit the earth millions of years ago. This demon that was trapped inside of a star. When it hit the earth, it was able to come out, but the shards of the star that kept it in was the thing that it's afraid of. So this creature was running amok in this land for a very long time, all the way up until when the first humans were there, which were the Indians. So this thing was there before humanity, it appears. So the humans figure out, what the Native Americans figure out how to, with the Galloo. So I'm looking over my notes. So when the shards came, well, how it was that they had the Galloo. The Galloo was in the woods, and so the Native Americans had figured out where it came from, and they had got a shard from a piece of the star that was left over. Like, I guess you could say I can't say what stars are made of when they hit the earth. I guess the meaty. I'm having a brain fart right now. So they go over there. Well, not they go over there. They get the shard and they use that to protect themselves. But it works for many, 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 many years. But what makes it not work anymore, of course, enter the settlers, aka the white folk. They did not want to listen to the Native Americans. They told them, do not go hunting. How the Native Americans pretty much remained in harmony with this thing was that they was like, we'll stay over here and you stay over there. They never went in this thing's parameter. They never hunted over there or anything. So of course the settlers don't listen, and they feel as if they can go and do anything, and that thing ripped them to shreds. And when the thing did that, it made it even more powerful. So they had to figure out a way on how to pretty much reckon with this force, because the one shard that they had was not enough anymore. So they figured out they was going to have to do the unthinkable and go into the forest to get more of the shards. The I guess you could say the priestess Seki or Seski, whatever her name is, She led it, her and her daughter, but she didn't survive. And her daughter, her daughter lost her mama, and so the tribe decided that they were going to go in and get the rest of the shards. Instead of killing the thing, they were going to contain it, and they were going to and what they pretty much did was dig burials in the ground around all of this wood and this land, and they buried each of the shards and lit a fire over it, so it pretty much trapped the thing in there so it can't leave. So that's where they come from. I mean that's their story. So Francis and them are trying to get the thing and I guess figure out where are these daggers at that's pretty much keeping this thing trapped in the forest. But they get all of this information from Daniel, who is Rose's nephew, but not by him willfully giving it over. No, they use Dick Halloran, the psychic, to get into Daniel's head, and he's like, you do this the hard way or it's gonna be painful for both of us. And he does this move that like does this first, and we know, I guess that's like the entryway, and then he goes over his face like this, almost like consume this man's head, like almost like maybe he's signaling to the spirit like, yeah, take over that whole dome and give it to me. And when he comes out of it figuring out everything that is to happen, Daniel is like foaming at the mouth, like having convulsions. And so Leroy sees this because prior to this, Leroy, he barges in Francis's office and he like, I need you to tell me what the hell we are looking for. Because this thing is attacking, I feel like this thing just came after me and my family. It's come after my son. And that's when Francis is like, okay, I'll let you in. And that's when he shows Dick in the interview room with Daniel. And we end on that he gets Daniel to tell him where the pillars are through his mind. And we find that all of the pillars are located under a well. They are only accessible now through all of the buildup of Derry, under a well that is under a old house, I believe, in Derry. That's like the only way to get to it. So of course now that's gonna compromise Daniel, because it's like he has exposed his community, his culture in the most vulnerable way, but it was against his will. It was by force. So we're gonna come back for episode 5. I really enjoyed episode 4. It gave us a lot of backstory. One thing that I will say about the special effects of this show, and I just think it's just period, it's like in cinema and shows now, it's like the special effects have gotten so perfect that it's now just too fake, if that makes sense.